Hi Mariela, Daphne here. Hope you are well. I'm going to start with this task one because you're obviously more anxious about this one. Okay. Problem number one: don't write so much. You're crazy. Read the instructions really carefully. The instructions in the exam, maybe not on this piece of paper, in which case apologies, but it's at least 150 words. So I would strongly suggest you aim for about 170, but no more. You've written 260 words. So obviously that's harder for you, and obviously you're going to make more mistakes. Keep it really tight. It is a report. It's not an essay, it's a report. So let's have a look at this. The line graph illustrates the volume of water from rain. 3 of the UK nations you'd have to put, or 3 nations in the UK, for the year 2018. Okay, fine. Beginning of the first quarter, rainfall volume in England and Scotland similarly range from 115 to 120. You can't have, grammatically, you can't have similarly ranged, so that's a sort of grammar thing, but you could have were in a similar range from that, yep. Whereas, good, in Wales, it was, not the was, but it was under, okay. Scotland's rainfall plummeted in February to approximately, followed by a dramatic increase in March. However, by the end of the quarter, its volume decreased to, okay, good. However, by the end of the quarter, its volume had decreased, okay, but you can actually technically want the past perfect in there, had decreased to roughly 40, which was similar to Wales's rainfall. And then, because you've got so many words, I would put here similar, I would cut that, similar to Wales's rainfall, okay? That is absolutely fine, okay? Absolutely fine. If you're worried about the words, yeah, the word count being too long, just put in the first quarter, okay? But content-wise, I'm really more into the content at the moment. Content-wise, fantastic, okay? Now, watch out, because this is where it's going to get long, yeah? Let's get into the overall. We see that England had slight volume fluctuations, and the most significant was between Scott's dramatic drop. You see, that is too long for an overall sentence. Your overall sentence should be just like 2 lines. Overall, take out that. I don't want any kind of blah, blah, blah. England had the slightest, let's make that into a superlative. We want a superlative volume of fluctuations. And here, you could have particularly between, but you don't need it. You can take it out altogether. May and June. And then, so I'm going to cut that. It's not wrong, but this is because it's too long. Whereas Scotland's dramatic drop, this is all too much blah, blah, blah. Okay? Your overall sentence needs to be really, really tight. Okay? I would go. So you've got England had the slightest volume. I would go, okay, the slightest variation. Hang on. Okay. The slightest variations in rainfall. Okay, maybe not use fluctuation. So my overall, okay, England had the slightest variations or the least variations, okay, in rainfall over the period, whereas Scotland, if you're talking about fluctuations, whereas Scotland and Wales had more significant rain with no overall pattern. Somewhere you've got to get the idea in that there's no overall pattern in this. Okay, I'm just giving you an overview. I'm not giving numbers. I'm not giving too much detail, but it's got to be short. Then I can get into the detail. Okay, so then if we cut this quite a lot, then you've got more room for this stuff here, which is where you're going to get the points, because this is where you're showing the complex grammar. In the second quarter, you don't need both, either that one or that one. The three regions were approximately. So it's really the words. That's your problem here, okay? all 3 regions. Yeah, you don't need that. All 3 regions witnessed or recorded approximately, yeah, respectively, although Scotland and England's volumes declined, that's lovely. You see, this is fantastic. You can do it. You've just got too many words in here. So be brutal. Be absolutely brutal. So I'm going to cut that. So between June and August, all 3 regions recorded approximately da-da-da. Okay? Or recorded. All 3 regions recorded similar quantities at approximately. Yeah, although, you see, that's an absolutely fantastic sentence. Last quarter, we're in a platformed, you'd have to say at, but we've got quite a lot of approximately's, haven't we? So instead of this, because you've given me a lot of detail, would be was recorded again, whichever one I haven't used, at levels between X and Y. So give me August and give me December. So I don't need this. It's too much detail. Because I can see it if I want to see it. In contrast, rain volume was just under an approximate. Yes, you see how, good, that's fine. So if we cut that bit, we're okay. So try and read it again with the cuts in it. See what you feel. I'd write it out again. I probably haven't done this perfectly, but I'd write it out again and see what you feel. What I mean about the grouping and contrasting is that comments like this, which you had, so while in the autumn or in quarter 3, Wales had very little rainfall, both the other countries hit peaks or hit high points. So I've grouped those 3 together. I'd like to group these 3 together as well. Yeah, in June and July, all 3 countries registered, recorded, showed high amounts of rain, that sort of thing. So you don't want to list. So you've grouped pretty successfully, I think, on this one. What I've done in your correction, I've sent you an email with like a checklist which you could use, which might help you. But you are doing fine on this. It is just practice. I would just keep going, practice, practice, practice. Get some on the website, write your own answer, compare your answer to their answer. Just the more you do, the more confident you will get. Okay, but this is good. For me, this is good. So here we go. Oh. Sorry, your task 2 is, yes, interesting. These are more fathers stay at home, mothers go to work. What are the reasons? So that's one half. Positive or negative, that's the other half. Really good. So you've got your planning. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Perfect. Gender-based roles have been embedded in society during many centuries. Now, for many centuries. For or over. Not during on that one. However, this has dramatically changed over the last decades. Nowadays, a significant proportion of women leave their houses to work, while more men, I put a comma there, while more men, plural, become stay-at-home parents. Yes, this essay will discuss how change towards a society based on a pivotal reason for this new trend among younger generations and provide examples. Fantastic! I mean, that is perfect. Absolutely perfect. There's ample evidence that, here we do need that, millennials and upcoming generations have adopted new and more equal roles in society despite their gender. Central reason is twofold. Firstly, gender equality allows women to have access. So equal access equally. We would say equal access. It's an adjective describing access, not an adverb with have. So it's an adjective. So equal access to a wide variety of employment and the opportunity to be positioned in high level. And this opportunity, because you're kind of being quite specific here, this opportunity to become other way employed in high level positions or at management level. Okay? So just the other way around on that word, sentence. Can be highly rewarding, ing. Rewarded or, okay, highly rewarding or rewarded. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, either works. Rewarded is money, rewarding is personally. That's just the difference of the adjective ending. Here will change the meaning. They're both okay because the context works for both. Secondly, men are becoming more engaged in household chores instead of merely financially, another adverb, financially supporting their partner. Instead of merely financially supporting their partner. For example, recent research in the UK has, I'm going to put that in different colour, that's super important. 70% of married level employees are positions. Here this is positions or jobs, not employments. So that's just your word choice. Level jobs are occupied by women. Therefore, no. Were you going to say that, should you write more there? But no, long enough. You made the point. Okay. It is unquestionable how the transition between established family roles in society towards non-traditional have changed, have greatly and positively, have changed. Hang on. It's unquestionable how the transition, I would go this transition because this is referring back to this whole essay. This transition that you've talked about between established family roles in society to, or towards, not, has, I would go, had a greatly positive impact. It's like you've got two sentences here, but you only need one. So this transition, singular, has had. Watch out on that. Okay, so I don't think you need that. I think that it's almost like you've got two sentences going on. This is largely because people may live in a society free of gender stereotypes and previous roles that were based on gender no longer exist, consequently allowing people to live according to their own standards. Okay, this one I might put in here, gender stereotypes. Gender stereotypes no longer exist. So in gender stereotypes, no longer exists, consequently allowing people to live according to their own standards. Good. Furthermore, family foundation is now stronger. The family foundation, or family foundations are, watch out there, because bonds are created based on equal participation from both parents. Good. Additionally, now you can't have an empirical research that doesn't work. You either have empirical research or a study showed 90% of stay-at-home fathers referred to having. We refer to having, good, nice one though, stronger bonds with their children. Therefore, positive outcomes are obtained from this change. Good. Now the therefore sentence, yes, have it there, that's fine. You don't need it both times because this is long anyway. To conclude, the reasons given and the impact this on development, comma, it is important to outline how gender equality has dramatically become dramatically embedded, or become, I go firmly embedded. I wouldn't go dramatically, grammatically it's not the best, but it also has to come here, position in our society, and that previously established, either the previous or previously established gender-based roles are no longer adopted by younger generations. Good. What a fabulous high-level essay. That is amazing. Watch out on between adverbs and adjectives. I think we've had this before. Make sure you are using the correct word to either describe the verb or adjective to describe the adjective, the noun, I mean. Just double check that when you're checking over this correction. But I think you are doing really well. So task 1 is just practice, practice, practice. Okay, practice and compare it to a model answer on the website. Get yourself confident, get yourself faster, make sure your answers are shorter. Very well done, good work.